Sorry, you don't know what happened. So people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. And one of the ways that that happens is at the end of your life. What is it that you want your legacy to be about? So as we go through our life, the Marines have a great phrase. They say everybody wants to get into heaven, but nobody wants to die. So as we live our lives, we should think about that. What's the legacy that you want to leave? What is it that you want to leave behind to show that you were here? I mean, for most people, it's their kids. For most people, that's where they focus everything into, is they focus it into their kids, and that's how they want to leave their legacy. But, there's a lot of other ways that you can leave your legacy. Some people create an organization. They create a system that hopefully is going to live beyond them. Some people create a foundation. Some people create something physical, a building, a garden. Walt Disney built theme parks. But one of the things to think about on our Sunday where we do our big picture is, what is your legacy that you want to leave? What is it that your life is going to be about? Because many, many times I've gotten the phone call of, all of a sudden things are bad and I need to draft a will. And you can see the regret for some people. Remember, there's two types of pains: the pains of discipline and the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. And, you kind of wonder, you're like, you go and talk to somebody and you can tell that there's massive regret that they haven't done this and haven't done that. And I'm thinking to myself, you're watching them, you're going, you're 78 years old, or, you're 82 years old, or you're 74 years old. I mean, what were you waiting for? What is it that you thought, how much time did you think you were going to have? I mean, the average life expectancy is now 80, and probably by the next generation, that's going to double. But whatever it is that you want your legacy to be, or whatever it is you want to get done, I mean, now's the time. And I think COVID's going to teach us that as we break out, which is going to happen next month. The year anniversary is this week, and next month it's over. I don't care what the CDC says. I don't care what governors say. Everybody's done, and everybody's going to be out and ready to roll. So when you do that, think about that bucket list, but including in that bucket list is, what do you want to leave behind? What is it that you want to leave behind for your kids? What is it that you want to leave behind for the world? Is it through your kids? That's your legacy? That's great. I think that's how most people look at it. Their legacy is their kids, all right? Then what is it that you want to leave for your kids? Have an intention with that. Have an intentioned outcome. The people that do, in my opinion, when I'm there with them as they know they're approaching the end, are much calmer than the ones that haven't. The people that have thought about, this is what I'm going to represent as I transition into the next form, are a lot more at ease that process is coming than the people who do not. The people who do not and get wrapped up in nonsense, as they approach their final transition, you can tell there's an uneasiness. There's a disappointment of, why didn't I do this, and why didn't I do this, and why didn't I do this? I flipped off, so I want to remind you of this phrase. I love the phrase the Marines have. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. We're all going to die. Nobody is getting out of this alive, not a single one of us. So plan for it. Anticipate that that's going to happen. Don't ignore it. Don't deny that that's a reality. Plan for it, so that when you get to that point that transition is going to occur, you can look back and say, I did what I wanted to do. And if that transition comes early, before it should, and before you expect it, if you've still planned for it, at least you're able to do something to leave that legacy. And start with the kids if you have them. What is it that you want to leave for them? But then go from there. What are you leaving for the world? Is it a foundation? Is it a garden? that's beautiful that hopefully will continue to grow? Is it an idea? Is it a book? If you have any idea about writing a book, now is the time. It is super easy to publish. It's super easy to do. What is it that you want your legacy to be? So I would encourage you today on our Sunday, on our big picture day, what's your legacy? What's your legacy going to be about? And start planning it, start working on it, start paying attention to it. The intention to life includes the intention death. What is the next phase going to look like, and what do you want to leave to this world? What small token or giant token do you want to leave to this world to represent that you were once here and once walked around? You know, it's kind of amazing if 100 years after your death, somebody's still talking about you, if you think about it. And if 1,000 years after your death, somebody's still talking about you, well, then you really did something significant. So what is it? My thought for the day. I've had the fortunate opportunity this year to communicate with a lot of people right before they transition. That's something that I've done a lot in my career, because I'll get the phone call, you know, somebody's in the hospital and they need a will, and they need this and they need that. The people that have planned and have done what they wanted, it's a lot easier, and they're calmer and they're at peace, as opposed to the people who didn't. You can tell when they didn't. And they're not as calm, and they're not as easy with what's going to happen. They have regrets. When you get to the end, don't have regrets. Go through the pain of discipline now so you don't have to deal with the regrets down the road. As Les Brown says, if you do the things that are hard, your life will be easy. If you do the things that are easy, your life will be hard. So have an intentioned life that includes what happens when you're gone and what's the legacy you're going to leave. Happy shorter day because we sprung forward, everybody. Have a great day. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.